Good morning, 8th grade. Today we are going to be preparing for our health and disease unit test, which will be held on Friday, January 29th. It will be an open book, open note test. So today I will go through a couple of slides as well as your unit review questions, which are located on page 21 and 22. So let's start with just some slides that I have that will review some general concepts that we learned during this unit. You should know these things without having to refer to your book. At this point, they should be recalled very quickly from your memory. Okay. All right, so a vector is an organism that spreads disease. What is a common example of a vector? These would include mosquitoes, which can spread things such as dengue fever, malaria, a host of other diseases, West Nile virus. Rats, we know that fleas on rats were the cause of the Great Plague. Ticks, again, Lyme disease, and a host of other fairly dangerous diseases and other parasites. What may be used to treat a bacterial infection? We know this would be antibiotics. Think of bio and bacterial. Antibiotics kill the bacteria that are causing the infection in your body. What is a living prokaryotic organism that may be spherical, rod-shaped, or corkscrew-shaped? These would be bacteria or singular bacterium. What is the body's BMR? This stands for its basal metabolic rate, the energy needed to carry out necessary tasks for your body to maintain itself and stay alive. What accounts for 30% of energy used in the body? This would be your daily physical activities. Your BMR takes up about 60% of the energy, and 30% is used by your daily physical activities. Of course, this can be higher if you are an athlete. What can be used to prevent a virus from spreading? Think of virus, V, vaccine. Vaccines help to prevent the virus. They're not 100%, but they are used to acquire herd immunity, where the majority of the population is immune to a disease through taking a vaccine. True or false, viruses are living organisms. You know that definitely is false. They are non-living. Fungi reproduce asexually by producing spores. Remember the two ways that organisms reproduce, sexually and asexually. Sexually involves a cell from the parent, sperm or egg cell coming together to create the new life. Asexual does not require cells from the parents. It can be regenerative, such as sea stars, dividing a sea star and getting new sea stars, or spores, or a variety of other methods. What accounts for 60% of daily energy use? That is our BMR. Our basal metabolic rate takes care of our basic body functions, so our body can repair itself and stay alive. In the past, smallpox influenced the global population. How can smallpox be classified? This would be a pandemic. Your key word here is global. Which type of food provides materials for the growth and repair of tissues? Think about, would it be lipids, proteins, carbohydrates? It would be protein. Which type of food allows for the long-term storage of energy? Would that be lipids, proteins, or carbohydrates? We know that fat is stored from the lipids, from fat. Lipid means fat. The study of microorganisms that may make organisms sick is known as microbiology. Microorganisms are organisms that are difficult to see with the naked eye. Microbiology, very small. Remember that some fungi and some parasites can be seen with the naked eye, but the majority of them cannot. Viruses must reproduce in a host cell. They replicate their DNA and RNA and overpopulate the host cell, causing reactions from the immune system of the host. What type of organisms live in or on another and thrive at its expense? That would be a parasite. Remember, the parasite benefits, but the host is harmed. All right, and that is it. Let's see if I can go ahead. We will do the post check on our testing day. Let me go ahead and go into our unit review questions now in our booklet, pages 21 and 22. All right. Number 1, give 3 examples of subjects that may be studied in the field of microbiology. I put bacteria, protozoans, parasites, viruses, fungi, and so many more. Describe a protozoan. That's a unicellular eukaryotic organism that may cause diseases when transferred by other organisms. So an example would be malaria. Remember, when a mosquito drinks the blood from its host, it is benefiting, but there is saliva that gets mixed in with the host bloodstream. Sometimes the mosquito saliva can carry protozoans that can make the host sick. For example, in the case of malaria, dengue fever, West Nile virus, any of those. That comes, so the mosquito is actually the parasite, but the protozoa present in the saliva is what makes the host sick. Right. Number 3, describe a bacterium. Bacterium is singular, bacteria is plural. Bacteria are unicellular prokaryotes. So pro means no nucleus, that may live in a colony found everywhere. They can be beneficial, as we know, or harmful. Okay, so remember the trick. Prokaryote means no nucleus. Eukaryotic organisms, eukaryotes, eu rhymes with do, which means they do have a nucleus. Okay. All right, number 4, 3 examples of environments in which bacteria can live would be aerobic with air, anaerobic without air, in extreme hot or cold or normal conditions. They are very adaptable. Number 5, describe a virus, non-living pathogens that infects host cells of an organism with its genetic information. It can cause curable or incurable diseases or infections. Number 6, how do viruses reproduce? They must use a living host cell. They reproduce asexually. Number 7, describe a parasite. That is an organism that feeds off of or uses another organism to its advantage while harming the other organism. Number 8, 3 examples of parasites that may cause an illness. Protozoans, such as amoebas, right? We talked about flesh-eating and brain-eating amoebas in class. Ticks, which can transmit Lyme disease. Fleas, think about the Great Plague. Mosquitoes, again, West Nile virus, dengue fever, malaria, and so much more. Number 9, which disease-causing pathogens or microorganisms require a host? Viruses and parasites require a host. Number 10, prokaryotic disease-causing agents would be viruses and bacteria. Number 11, toxins. How are they harmful to living organisms? Well, toxins are poisonous substances that can cause illness or interfere with bodily processes. Toxins can come from ingestion or from exposure in the environment. Number 12, explain how mold can easily cause allergic reactions. Well, mold releases asexual reproductive cells, which are called spores, into the environment. And when they are breathed in or ingested, they can trigger an allergic response in some individuals that are sensitive to them. The allergic response can include sneezing, watery eyes, coughing, and a host of other unpleasant symptoms. Number 13, bacteria. A doctor prescribes a patient antibiotics to treat an illness. What most likely caused this illness? Bacteria. Antibiotics and bacteria go together. Number 14, a doctor administers a patient a vaccine. What type of illness will the vaccine protect against? We know this is virus. Vaccines are used for prevention of the viral disease from a virus. Number 15, what is the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic? They are both widespread, but pandemics are spread through many regions globally. When you hear the word global, that means pandemic is present. Pan, the prefix pan means world. Number 16, what variables may affect the amount of energy needed by a living organism? Well, things such as gender. Males tend to burn more calories than females. Age, younger humans burn more or need more calories than older humans. The weight of the person, how efficient is their metabolism, their activity level. Imagine the difference between an athlete training for the Olympics and a grandmother sitting in a rocking chair. The athlete is going to need a lot more energy. Okay. Number 17, from what 3 types of food do we get our energy? We know it comes from proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. Number 18, we measure food energy in the unit called calories. Number 19, BMR stands for basal metabolic rate, and that accounts for 60% of the energy needed for an average human's natural bodily processes. This does not include exercising or exertion, but just cellular functioning and repair. And then finally, number 20, list at least 5 healthy habits for teenagers. Remember, you are tracking your healthy habit in your log on page 18 and 19 of your notebook. That is due on Monday, February 1st as an assignment. But some other things, the healthy habit that you're tracking could include one of these. It could include eating a proper diet, getting 8 hours of sleep every night. It could be eating more lean meats and more fruits and vegetables, limiting your sweets and your junk food, daily hygiene, such as brushing your teeth, washing your face, washing your hair. All of those are important habits, especially for teenagers in their growing years. Alrighty, I hope that you have kept up with your notebook and you are prepared and ready for the unit test on health and disease. Thank you.